Okay, since the code just started, I just keep these four things. So basically, we discussed the four different type of non-functional testing, which is very essential to have it. That's the capacity and stress. The second one is high availability and failover, failover and high availability. Third one is latency. And fourth one, daily life cycle. Those are four key different type of non-functional testing we need to make sure. So when it comes to the performance, so there are two different type of performance tests. One is performance testing that as I mentioned, if you have internet banking application that's supposed to work on 6,000 concurrent users per hour, so testing on that kind of performance testing. But in reality, these systems are integrated to various other systems, core banking, ATM, card systems, and many other systems. And all loads will come not only from the internet banking, rest of all other channels. So, so make sure to load all these channels and monitor all these channels and configure all these channels together and putting the load and verify how this entire system is going to work. It's a kind of a performance engineering. It's a kind of advanced step code rather doing just a testing and analyzing all data in various channels and levels and identifying where are the bottlenecks. It's a kind of a completely complex scenario that basically right now we consider as a performance engineer. So that's what the basically it for. So giving an example. So when you looked at the performance testing, I think this graph it clearly shows various different type of performance testing we can perform in real world. So load testing is, you can see the load testing graph. So this is the load testing graph, load test. So basically load test is a kind of a testing internet banking application for 60,000 concurrent users. But we will not load from immediately 6,000, but we will start from maybe 20,000, so then 40,000, and then 60,000. And we will not stop by 60,000 because there will be a growth in future. So probably like 80,000, 100,000, something like that. So then we will do another few load tests like 80,000 and 100,000, something like that. So that we call stress. We will increase in the load continuously and stress the application and do the stress testing. So that's the second type of testing. So load testing is to do a certain load and validate what will be the page load time, how this application behavior, how it is the memory usage, processor usage, and all this information. And similarly, we'll upgrade it for a 6,000 to 8,000 to 100,000 to 200,000. So increasing the load. So we will measure the stress. We're putting on the stress on the application and see how application behavior going to change. The third one is endurance. Basically, we know 60,000 users will putting onto our, but some of the users might not log off. They might continue for a certain hours. So that's the reality happen. So in that the case, we need to check what will happen out of 60,000. 10% of users continue for a 3, 4 hours. So that we call endurance. We will do the testing for a longer period and see whether how application is going to behave. If there are 400,000 users or 600,000 users for a 4 hours or 5 hours or 24 hours, something like that. Okay? So that's we call endurance. We will run a load test, certain load test for a longer period. So other one is spike. So that's a very sensitive. If you look at the internet banking application, because so people's salary are remitted to the deposit to the bank's accounts, right? And it will happen on certain days, like 25th, 30th, 10th. There are certain defined days where organizations, companies, government put their salaries of their employees to the bank account. So those days, so though there are 6,000 users use the internet banking application, those days people will get SMS that the salary has put. Some people will not get SMS, but all the people, they might keen on whether they received salary or not, and they might frequently check their bank accounts online. So that is spike. Those days there will be, though regularly there are 60,000, those days maybe 200,000 spike might come immediately and down. Those spikes might happen. So we need to make sure these kind of spikes can be handled in the application. So testing on spikes is very essential. So other one is volume. So we can increase the low volume of data volume. So if you think that if we have a 100 million customer base for internet banking application, so we need to have 100 million user accounts, and these people will grow. So next year there will be 120 million. The third year there will be 140 million, something like that. So how this application behavior when we increase, basically when we increase the volume. And that's also essential. So scalability is another type of step where we will not increase the load, but we will change infrastructure. We will change the network. We will change the hardware, memory, RAM, processors. We change all those things to different values, and we can test what is the best optimum combination to have the better performance. That we call scale. In addition to that, there's another test called breakpoint. So we can continuously increase the user load until application break. So we can increase it 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 60,000, 70,000, 80,000, 90,000, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. At some point, application will collapse. So then we know, we can ask our clients or when the companies don't increase user count beyond that point, because application will get collapsed. So then we know if we are going to increase our customer base beyond that number, then we have to have a difference of their upgraded supply. Before collapsing, we know that. So that's a break point is. We need to do break-even test as well as, because making sure our businesses are grow and collapse the application. We need to make sure that not happen. So these are the basic performance test types we need to do. So testing performance process is same as previous other testing. We need to have test environment. We need to determine performance testing criteria, then plan, then configure, then analyze, then designing, run, and analyze the results. So the usual testing workflow will apply even for a performance testing. And there are various tools like Apache JMeter, load, Ninja load, runner load. But in reality, there are two popular tools available in the industry. One is open source tool called Apache JMeter. Other one commercial tool called LoadRun. Those are two tools very popular today in doing performance testing. I'm not saying other tools are not good, but these are the two tools people everywhere use. JMeter is also very old tool. It is maintaining since last 30 years time. LoadRun also same like that. But thing is, JMeter is open source and it will not cost for you if you are going to use, but there are certain challenges, certain complexity. LoadRunner is very user-friendly one, but it's a highly expensive tool because it's a proprietary one and it's a commercial one. So this is how JMeter going to work. JMeter don't. So basically, if you are going to put a load using a load testing tool, you usually if you are going to do a load testing, if you want to do a 60,000 user load, you can't manually do that because you can't find 60,000 people manually and computers to put a load, right? So then you have to virtually generate the users. So that's the concept. So these tools can create virtual users, and those tools virtual users are more equivalent to the actual users, and they can put into application and test. So basically, JMeter, they can't create virtual users, but they can create threads. They will create threads, multiple threads, and put into the application and generate the load on the application. So each thread we will consider as a users. So if you want 10,000 users to put into the web application, you can create 10,000 threads. And you can sample them. You can group these threads as samples if you want, but you can put into the application and check. So but in reality, the load runner, they can generate virtual users. They have capability of generating virtual user itself. Unfortunately, load JMeter that doesn't have that capability, but they generate threads. So each thread considered as a one virtual user. But here, that is the advantage of load runner. They can create virtual users. And if you want 10,000, 60,000 users, they will create 60,000 virtual users. They will put into the application and perform the activity, and then we can validate how the application is going to behave. So that is how it will be. Basically, LoadRunner has three different applications called Virtual User Generator, VUGen, that generate virtual users. Controller is controlling these virtual users into different scenarios and putting the load. Analysis the report analysis. But JMeter that doesn't have this report analysis and controller features. We have to manually control, or we have to do the coding ourselves and control. But LoadRunner, since it's a commercial tool, they have given all these capabilities. Additionally, if you are using that, you can do that. So those are the key different type of tools available. So basically, that's what I want to touch base on the performance side, because I don't want to give a deep dive. This is a very extremely vast area. I don't want to give only introduction about the performance testing. Then we know about basics, because my whole objective is to look at the AI side of the software testing within the today's session. Right? So if you don't have anything, if you have any questions, you can ask on the performance. I just give a very brief intro. If you don't have any questions, we can move to the other part of the session. Then you can ask questions in the chat. Not, we move to the other session. Start then. So basically, I want to touch upon the latest trends of the software testing. Right? Okay. So very first thing. So let's see what are the emerging trends in software engineering. Yeah. So when I Google it, I found. So actually, I'm pretty sure you can. People will use Google now. It's ChatGPT, but for me, I use the Google. So when I Google it, and I found that these are the key emerging trends that can be find out in this industry as of today. So these few of them are artificial intelligence, agile DevOps, cloud, cybersecurity, DevSecOps, DevOps, microservices, Kubernetes, blockchain, low code, no code, quantum computing, IoT. These are few, right? But there are many. These are the few I found out as a key trends. So what I would like to hear from you is, you can just scan this QR code and select based on your understanding what are the top five new trends. Or either you can scan the QR code, or either you can go slido.com and type this number. So then you can find out this. This is a survey. This is a poll actually. So I just want to vote it now yourselves, because just to understand how you think about top influencing trends in software engineering based on your knowledge. Right? So I found out more than 10, but I want most top five as you understand. Just scan the QR code. What? You can take a few 2 to 3 seconds, minutes, and do that. So I don't want to take many times. Maybe quickly you can scan this QR code. Okay. One people voted. Others also can try out. So three people. Yeah, 5 people has voted. Anyone want to vote? Okay, so till others voting. So good thing. So okay, most of them are, I think everyone, the 5 people who voted, they voted 100% for the. So everybody is voted for AI. So and cloud, blockchain, IoT, those are the few. Kubernetes, quantum, agile level, cybersecurity, developments. So these are the things that you voted. Great. Okay. So people who voted AI, why did you vote AI? Any reason? Because everybody is talking now AI. And everywhere we go, everybody is discussing about AI. This the reason. Yeah, actually, so even my feeling is AI is kind of one of latest trends by looking at the industry. So so I had this problem. So why we need to think about AI is that much of, so any other factors. So because of that, I started uh, researching myself, and few things I identified. This is one point. So I got to, when I'm researching, I noticed that there is I found a research that done by the PwC. So based on their research, so this the research they have done in 2022, little time ago. So but that's the latest research they have done, and after that they haven't published any new data. So based on the data they published in 2022, they expect by the world economy will get a potential contribution of 16 trillion, 15.7 trillion by 2030 because of the AI. So they expect because of AI, the world economy will grow by 16 trillion by 2030. It's not something small. It's a 26% of GDP growth, right? So it's not something 2%, 3%, or 1%, right? So usually world economy go by decimal numbers, right? But here they are saying 26 GDP growth will happen by 2030. That is 16 trillion. That's because of the, that's not a small number. It's massive, right? So massive economic growth supposed to happen by 2030 because of AI. So we know our what's the size of our economy, right? Very small one. So if we get a maybe small percentage of this, will maybe sufficient for us to maybe 0.001 will be sufficient for us to survive ourselves, right? Something like that. So this is a very massive number. So by looking at even we can see so what's going to happen to the entire economy of this world because of the AI. So if we can get a very small percentage out of this to a country like us, it will be sufficient, right? So that's a massive. So we need to really need to think about this now. Right? Okay. Next thing I found is so generative AI numbers. I found set of generative AI numbers. So based on this is all about everything. The previously what they discussed about the AI considering everything. But this is only for generative AI. So even generative AI, they expect 356 billion increase market volume increase happen by 2030. That is actually 46.47 annual growth rate. So that's also very massive. Okay, that's also not something small. But same time, when I'm further uh, doing the research, this I found it from the Oxford Economics. So what the Oxford Economics says is based on their research, by 2030, there will be 20 million job reduction will happen because of the, so that is mostly near to 10% of global manufacturing workforce. So it's massive now. So that's a contradiction. So I see it's a massive, there's a great contradiction here because the economy is supposed to grow by 16 trillion, but same time the people might going to suffer by losing their jobs. Can that happen? So we know if economy grows, we know we will get more money, we will get more jobs, we will get more salary, we will get more free time. So that is expectation. If economy grows, we expect us to also grow, us to have a better career, better salaries. Right? But unfortunately, these predictions, what they are saying is, while economy is growing massively, people will supposed to suffer. So that's a challenge, right? In all of us. So that's I want to share with you all. This all of us. There's a challenge is there. Economy is supposed to grow because of AI, but at the same time, people are supposed to suffer. We have to stop this, right? So what the reason is, the basic reason is the money that's supposed to come into the industry or the world economy will not get for us. It's supposed to go for a few people in this world, maybe like people like Elon Musk, what kind of people will get this money. But as a professions, as a people, as experienced people or professions, or in people who are supposed to go into the economy very soon, you all need to figure it out a way to grab this money for a society, not for individuals. So we need to fight for it. We look for alternatives. We need to find various scenarios, grab this AI growth to the people, not to the individual who trying to control this world, right? So that's the challenge I brought to you. Look at, learn the AI, look all possible ways. Without learning, you won't be able to survive. Learn, use AI, but same time, try to grab the money to the society back, not given for a single individual. So that's the challenge. So that's what I would share to you. But same time, when I'm doing further researches, these are the few, actually one good thing I have noticed. So India is trying to do that. So India also probably they knew this. So they are trying to get 3 million new tech jobs by the 2030. That's their plan. So as a nation, we should have a plan. I don't know whether we have any single plan for this, but unfortunately, India already on it. So they are trying to get 3 million new jobs, while the entire industry, entire world lose 20 million jobs. India is trying to get a new 3 million jobs because of the other AI. So that's what all I have to do. Figure it out, generate new careers, new models, new things, and find these jobs and bring it to us. So then we can make sure that 16 trillion will get for us as well, rather giving for one or two, three, right? So that's it. So this is actual data that they have published by Samit Muttal. One is he's the MD of Service Now India. That this is real numbers. That's how they are going to plan and get this hack this situation, right? Similarly, I think as a people from this country and we industry and we also looked at possible ways to do this, unless we will lose existing jobs as well, right? So that's a challenge on front of us we have. So look very proactively and very positively, and let's look at possible ways to grab this. So one good thing you can do is you all can, since because of the AI, we are losing many jobs and there is challenges in the industry. What you can do is look all the options. Try your own research. Try your own startups. Right? Try your own startups. Find out a business case and set it up your own startup and try to make. I think this is the best time to be you to start a startup. I think once you get matured, once you are that, you won't be able to. For us, it's not easy because we have many other commitments. We can't uh, sacrifice our jobs and do startups. But the like people, young people like you can do it at university times. Do your own startup before you leave your university life. Do at least one startup. Set it up, drive it. It doesn't matter it fail. The experience you will get will be massive and it will help you survive. If in case if get success, you will be a billionaire. Huh? Right? So find out a very good business case rather looking at setting up uh, a software for a food city or something like that. I know many people are thinking those kind of things. Those are not startups. Look at really, really great startups. Right? So, and find out the business case. Maybe there are many various business cases you can find out within Sri Lanka or the global country. Find out, try to resolve the problem and build up your own startup. If it works, you can be able to be billionaire. If it didn't work, the experience you are getting will be massive and you will be survive yourselves one day. So that's the only way you if you want to survive yourselves. Right? With this AI industry. Okay. So let's think about a little bit of it. So what do you think? What do you think when did this AI started? This AI discussion. We know very recently we are discussing very much of AI, but do you think when this discussion initiated? At least roughly maybe 1980 or 1990, 2000 or 2010. What do you think? That's one question even I had. So when I'm researching, I found out some interesting thing. The very first AI discussion had happened in 1950s. They had a conference as well on AI. It is very odd. AI is not something new. But unfortunately, until year 2000 comes, we call AI winter. So there's no much discussion on AI. So, but in somewhere in year 2000, so generative AI has been initiated. Basically, LLMs has been introduced. So that's the place again. Basically we call models. AI models has been implemented in somewhere in year 2000. That's the where we started talking about AI again. But even we have the LLMs, it's not much popular. It's very limited usage. So it's start getting popular once we figure it out prompt engineering in somewhere in 2018. So once we people figure it out prompt engineering, talk to LLMs and get the answers. So that's what ChatGPT did, right? What does so basically we can ask questions from the LLMs and get answers. So that's prompt engineering. Once prompt engineering initiated, so that's the place where AI is starting becoming very popular. So that's where the generative AI has initiated massive mass scale. But in year 2020, then augmented reality and those things has initiated. 2004, 24, there are many tools has been introduced. In 25, there are a lot of agentic AI systems. Right now, we can have the multiple LMs. We can ask them to talk together. There's a common protocol called MCP, Model Context Protocol. Using the Model Context Protocol, we can ask multiple LMs to discuss together and find out the answers, right? So that's where right now we are. So if you looked at past, so basically it's a human-centered, very machine initiated, right? But completely human-centered. But the present, it's not actually the present. It's a recent past. So we had a automation. We had a lot of script base that very fast, and but at the same time we had a heavy maintenance. But now with the agentic AI and other AI things, so we are in kind of a goal-oriented, adaptive, and collaborative model. That's where we are. If you looked at testing perspective, because of AI, we can have scalable coverage. Because of the AI, we can generate many test cases automatically. So rather writing it, because of that, we can scale the coverage, can have better coverage. If we have previously 100 test cases, test application, now we can write 10,000 test cases within a few minutes using the AI, right? And we can do the continuous adaptations. So continuously, we can add the test cases, automate it, and execute it. And we can do a lot of proactive tests because our regular testing can be covered via the AI tools. Generate test cases via AI tools, we can do additional proactive testing that we make sure more better software to deliver. So that's how the QA will get it. Right? So basically, we can generate the test marks, we can have large coverage, we can adapt dynamically and adapt the requirement, and we can analyze the requirement and we can increase the test cases, and it's like a cycle. So it will help each other and we can continuously increase the quality by doing a better testing. And these are the few numbers. So we expect that because of the AI, we can increase testing scalability increase by 10 times. If we have previous 100 test cases, now we can with the same effort, we can do the 1,000 test cases. But previously we might work for 8 hours, but now it's 24/7 available, continuous testing. And previously we believe the automation percentage is 50%, but now we expect it can grow up to 90% of automation and software testing work. But if you are going to do this AI, if you are going to use AI for automation testing, there are certain new skills are required, not the old skills. The one skill is effective prompting. You need to have a very clear skill to do the very proactive, effective prompt engineering. Basically, how to write prompt, essential script, and critical assessment. Assessment skill, critical analytical skill is very essential because you need to analyze your test cases and figure it out what is the best test case and what are the various situations how we are going to handle. And strategic design, test design. So you need to strategically just figure it out your test design and focus on key areas. That's a human skill. You can't ask the robot to do that. And ethical oversight. Make sure the ethical accept of the testing and ethical accept of the software development so that AI can't handle. So those are different skills we need now. Previously, we had a lot of manual skills, but now we want a lot of prompting skills, critical assessment skills, strategic designing skills, ethical oversight. Those are the four skills which essentially we need to have with AI. Right? Okay. So this similarly AI, there are a few other new trends in software testing perspective. We call automation. So I think it's not new, but again, automation is becoming again new because automation go with AI. So I will show how to make it automation with AI. So agile, BTD, TDD, DevOps, these are emerging trends. Cybersecurity is again a very emerging trend. Artificial intelligence is also, that's what we are discussing. So data science, blockchain, all these are very emerging trend for the software testing. So I'm not going to deep dive them. So I have touched upon these topics in various points. Uh, so cybersecurity is also one of the area. So where we need to need to think about cybersecurity because security is one of great aspects. We need to make sure, especially with the AI. So AI depend on the data. So various data channels and data. So we need to make sure data security. So if we are unable to secure this data, so all the things that we are going on top of that, what we are going to build, yeah, the AI will collapse, right? So because of that, security is very essential. So and security testing is coming to very crucial. We need to make sure we are we have secured systems applications, especially the people that discussing various different type of data and very crucial data. So it's very essential. So that's why all the most of the countries even trying to set it up, yeah, data governance laws. So I think Europe has the one of great data governance rules and laws and set it up. Similarly, I think Sri Lankan countries also we have. I'm not sure how wide we can go, but data governance is very essential, and we need to make sure security aspects of it. Especially we are talking about the biometrics and different type of things. So basically, biometric is very essential thing. You need to make sure security of these things. If you are going to use biometric for a public purpose, so we need to be very careful, and we need to make sure our application are tested again. This kind of thing. Basically, usually none of countries right now use the biometric as a public software. Right? So even US or Israel, they are not using biometrics as in their public softwares because of the security. Even Europe has put it up a new law to save the biometrics. So I know that in Sri Lankan countries as well, we are discussing whether we can use biometric for the NIC or something like that. But basically, we should not because that's none of organization, none of country, none of geography has used it because it's personal data. Something get leaked out hereafter there's no people like you or me, right? If my biometrics or your biometrics leaked out, so there won't a person called you or me, right? So because of that, security is becoming very crucial. So so that's the way crucial things. So evaluation of these jobs things into AI. So jobs also get changed. So previously I mentioned the entire job, the IT industry has get changed to two different versions of roles: full stack engineer and estates. But with AI, now the new lot of new roles are initiating. So basically, AI engineers, prompt engineers, autonomous agent designers, AI QA analysts, AI ML DevOps, ML DevOps, machine learning operations engineers, ethical AI engineers, architectures. So various AI roles are introducing. So still it's uh, too early to predict where industry will be landed, but all the roles right now, previously what we have, will be taking over with these AI roles. So that's what happening right. So and we need to have new settings. So basically, our focus will be changed. So previously we write the code, right? Rather writing code, now we need to generate the code. Previously we used tools, IDEs like IntelliJ or PyCharm or Eclipse, but now we will be using the LLMs with prompt engineering. Right? The skill set is changing. So we need to do have prompt engineering knowledge. We should critical review knowledge. So agent orchestration knowledge and those things we should have. And collaboration perspective. Like previously we had human to human collaboration. Now we need to learn human to AI collaboration, pair programming, cross agent workflows. This completely collaboration become a human to AI, right? Not human to human. So that's a new state. But more or less, industry is getting changed like this, right? So less manual work, more strategic. The human has to do more strategic work. Manual work will be taken over by AI. Less mechanical work, more creative works. So humans has to take on over more creative work, and all the mechanical work can be asked to do by AIs. Less coding, no line by line coding work. Mostly validating and designing the systems, right? Reviewing the systems, making sure we have the correct system, but not the code. More ethics, the focus on ethics, governance, right? System level thinking, advanced thinking. So that's this is. So what does it mean? So previously we have done many mechanical manual work. Ideally, human should not do non-human works, right? Right? With the AI, we can transfer most of the non-human work to the AI, and we can take the human work. Mm. So that's a good thing. AI push us to be a humans, right? Previously, we had a lot of manual, mechanical coding, completely unhuman works, right? Non-human works. But now AI has allowed us to do a lot of humanity, right? So that's a good thing. AI has been introduced to us. Same time, though, there are a lot of bad things, pros and cons. Yeah, this is a very good thing. So I think it's correct time. So we need to look at to be more human, more. We have to be a better human, and a lot of mechanical works getting done from the AI, right? So that's the advantage. So think about that, how to get it there, how to get that value of your career in future, definitely. In even your student life, you can think about how to be a more human and with the AI. So I have given a good opportunity for us. Okay, any questions? Anything you want to ask still so far? So before I move to the next two topics. But this really a eye opener for everybody. So all of us has a good opportunity and bring more humanistic values. So with the AI. Okay, so when we looked at software testing life cycle, right? So we can use AI for a various cases. So previously, test design, test scripting, test execution, evaluation, all these things manual. But with AI, we can use AI for each and every test case generation, scripts, execution, result prediction, defect reporting, and based on the result prediction, we can optimize our test suite. So that means if you are running 10 times of execution, you can further optimize your test cases and you can have a better test suite to have a better test result. So that means machine learning. Not only the AI, machine learning part also can be introduced to the entire testing work. So that's the AI can how can be this, right? Okay. So I want to show small thing, right? So this is a small requirement so that we use to write our uh, Python calculator. So I have given shown to write unit test cases for Python. So this is the requirement. So what I want to show you was how to use this kind of requirement and generate test cases. It's a very good one. Let me so you can try out this yourselves, but I will show that. Let me get, let me share my screen it again. So I will get a ChatGPT. So I'm using ChatGPT as, but I don't think ChatGPT is allowed in the industry, but you can have they have Copilot or their own license versions of LLMs. But I am going to show ChatGPT how it can be helped. So I am going to use this require. So there's a Epic. This Epic is to develop interactive Python program. So they have two user stories. The first user story is input and operation selection. Basically, as a user, I want to enter the two number values and change the arithmetic operation, addition, subtraction. And then as a user, I want to program to execute. So these are my requirement. I have given by my business analyst. So if I have this requirement, writing test cases by manually, I have to put my manual effort. But if you have a LLM, what you need to do is you need to have a correct, uh, what you need to have is you need to have a correct, so this is one I actually write it myself. I need to write a proper prompt, right? So this is my prompt. So I need to generate all possible functional test cases for below given calculate application, including positive, negative, edge cases with use of boundary value analysis and equivalent partial test design technique in a tabular format with field name of test case ID, test description, user story, test steps, and expected result. So if I can write such a uh, prompt. So I can further extend if I want more information. But if I can write a uh, so, prompt like this, then I have given the requirement. So if I give my prompt to the chat, so my LLM, so what will happen? So I enter this. This is, I just use ChatGPT, but you can use your proprietary LLM we have in the university. You can use this, but in this you can't do that. So he is analyzing the requirement, right? So what happens? He's writing all these test cases within only just few seconds, right? How many test cases? Okay, 20, 22, 20. So 25 test cases, right? So just two requirement lines. So he generated 25 test cases. If we are go to manually do it, you have to think, put many days of effort to write this. But LLMs, if you can train your LLM for your own domain, you will get massive test case number with very few seconds. And that's very easy, right? So that's how it will be going to helpful. That's generative AI. So you can do it within a few seconds. Similarly, so if you let me show that. So if you are going to do this, if you are so I will open PyCharm. I will show that you can use in PyCharm, you can use a GitHub Copilot or either even Eclipse or either VS Code, you can use GitHub Copilot. So Python. So I will, this is my PyCharm. So I will create a small new file. So get it ordered. This for time. Yes, and store a small package. So I can also new Python file, create a new Python file. Uh, uh, So if you have PyCharm, you can set it up. GitHub copyright. You can go to settings. You can go to the settings. You can go to the plugins. Plugins. So you can go to the marketplace. Plugins marketplace. It should be connected to the internet. So then you can select GitHub. Still getting loaded. Okay, I think there's a small issue. It's getting close. So It's getting trash. Yeah, there's a. I will use something I already use. Plugins. You can find at GitHub Copilot. If you go to the if you go to the marketplace, you can find out GitHub Copilot plugins. You can install. So I already installed it. So you can, if you select this, you can select not update. You can select install. Then you can install. So GitHub Copilot allows you to contact Chat, ChatGPT and few other LLMs. Do your coding. So you will get once you install, you can go to the menu under the tools. Under the tools, it's getting loaded. Okay. Tools, you can see GitHub Copilot. So once you install the plugin, you can see GitHub Copilot. If you go, if you can see many different things. You can see open chat. So there's a chat. So if you select open chat, you will get this chat. Here you can say you can give this epic. You can say you can give this epic. Sorry, use a story and ask to generate your uh, code, right? But rather doing it, so I will show you think. So I already written the code. So you can write the code even within with that, but think I already write my code. Python file. I create new file. I will write my Python calculator there. This is my Python calculator. This is my Python calculator code. So I will ask. Oh, it's got close again. So there's a tune. So So I can ask that right to meet this cases for bow and subtract so I can do it, right? So he will generate by looking at this code, we can generate all this. So this is the code, and we can just write your code. So he import himself. So he's using. So I can he used the unit test. So I will set that to use test. So generate it. These are the test cases. So it's simple. Just copy this and get the code. This is the code. So you get the code for the various test cases. That's simple. So you can do it different. You can say right set up execution as yes. So this is so you generate the code which is set up distribution and assertion method. Right? So as similarly we did it. So you can do it anywhere, right? So there's nothing to do that. You can do the coding and testing automatically generate it, right? So so in addition to that, if you want to auto generate everything while you are coding also, so think you put your code here. So this is your calculator. Yeah. Copilot will allow you to write even a project writer. So think you are writing definition. Yes. So it automatically will split it in 2 lines. You can see this. Okay. Yes, subtract to now. Automatically is giving the code. So that's how AI will help you. It's getting automatic code. Nothing to write. All the codes is given. So so that's how. So if you install the GitHub Copilot, until while you are coding, it will somewhat write your interface. So that's how it really helps, right? So because of that, so the AI going to help you in coding. Because it's like again, you can get everything done. The actual- So this is very easy. So that's what I want to show that you can get it done. Okay, so overall, I think that's all what I have to do. So I have just add few marks, few slide further. So, one thing I just want to highlight. So in this AI, so the entire QA research cycle has been changed differently, right? So divisions. So if you look at the Docker, so they have two different type of doctors. Psychiatrists who treat for the mental illness, physicians who treat for the physical illnesses. So we until now in the software testing we had only physical defects, code defects, defects in the code within the code. But with the AI, now we have defects within the data. Without code, there might have defects. So that basically now we have as a 3D engineer, we have to identify both defects, physical and mental defects. So role is becoming very tough now, right? So generally software tester has to do a both project findings, right? So that's the other thing. So I think these are basic skill sets and it will be engineer should have. So I'm not going to read by those things. So you can refer my slide there. I think that's all I want to cover as my part of this one. So I want to show that how AI is going to transform this world, and I want to show how AI can be used for a testing perspective, right? Even test case writing, test automation, unit testing, anything you can use the AI tools, LLMs, and work done within a few seconds. So that's why the work role is getting changed now. I think that's all I have to cover. So do you have any questions you can ask? If not, please go through the all the materials I shared and have a brush up. So I think if you don't have any questions, I can stop the recording now.